The 17th Conference of the Parties of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora took place in Johannesburg, South Africa from 24th September to 5th October 2016. The conference brought together over 3,500 representatives, 183 state parties, as well as intergovernmental organizations, conservation experts, and community members to ensure that international trade in endangered wild animals and plant species does not threaten their survival. It is the first time since 2000 that CITES meets on the African continent.
SADC TFCA network is an organization that has been set up by the SADC the Secretariat to help the TFCA process in the SADC region. We have 18 TFCA, and then we have a number of people at different levels, from government, from NGOs, from communities, and other players who are doing a lot of good work that is related to TFCA. So we recognize that there's a need for these people to come together and share some of the work that they do, or at least everybody puts something on the table. And therefore we created a platform as SADC to bring these group of people together.
As you know, CITES focuses on species that are endangered, making sure that they are conserved. This is what also as the TFCS would like to see in terms of biodiversity conservation. Speak about the rhinos, the elephants, the lions that are in discussion currently. Those are species that are important to our natural ecosystems. And if most of the populations of elephants, for example, is found in Southern Africa. This is the South SADC region. So you cannot talk about elephants and the SADC region not being relevant.
We're also doing joint monitoring of the exotic plant species that threaten the habitat and ecological integrity of the landscape that we seek to conserve and protect. And we are also piloting a number of other initiatives, which include also transboundary monitoring of illegal activities, wildlife law enforcement, which is actually implementing the SADC law enforcement strategy that was recently approved by the SADC Ministers of Environment.
It's actually a process that depends and actually tied into the different stages of TFCA development. The initial stages is for people to appreciate, one, the value of these resources. From that stage, we go to empower them so that they access benefits. But within the benefit framework, we still need to generate enterprises, businesses, so that they are trained to enjoy these benefits and maximize the returns. But as you know very well that we are living in a very dynamic environment. Things change and all the time. So we want to make sure our communities actually cope with the different changes that are taking place within the environment.
4 well-attended side events drew attention to the added value of cross-border collaboration through TFCAs in the field of species conservation, community engagement, and cross-border law enforcement against poaching through a series of presentations, panel discussions, and even a community theatre performance. The audience gained insight in the multidimensional approaches within these conservation areas that straddle international borders.
We are all aware of the interest, of the global interest that Western countries take in the animals of Africa and other parts of the world. And it is my belief, my personal belief, that these animals are should not just be the concern of people in the Western countries or industrialized countries. They should be the concern of the global community, and even more specifically, they should belong to the people who live with them and around them and nearby them, meaning the African communities.
So what I decided to do was maybe to bring in a medium that these people can actually understand and they can relate to. So that is when we decided to use theater, music and dance.
Join away! Hey, shut up! Hey man, we got our papers in order. Which papers? The permit to hunt the lion.
It's a two-way kind of communication where also if communities want to talk to decision makers, We then use community people, teach them how to bring their stories together, and then they come to a high-level delegation space and then say out their views or their challenges.
Thanks to GIZ support, they have supported the network because one of the objectives of the SADC TFCA network is to fill up that gap on knowledge sharing. Because there's a lot of information on transfrontier conservation areas out there that we are not putting out there, that we are not sharing, which is very important because this is a new concept and we need to share experiences, we need to share knowledge as much as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure and honor to be part of this auspicious gathering at which we are about to witness the official launch of the SADC Transfrontier Conservation Area, TFCA's network website. This launch is occurring at an opportune time as it coincides with the CITES COP17 2016 meeting. May it fulfill its promise to keep practitioners informed and engaged, as well as enticing the general public to visit and help building our common future.
It has been nearly 3 decades, ladies and gentlemen, since the visionary leaders of the SADC region first gathered to discuss how to breathe life into these TFCAs as they were about to be established. Were it not for the foresight of these great leaders of ours and their innovative ways of thinking, we would not be where we are today. And I think we can all say a big thank you to all of them who worked so hard to ensure that we are where we are right now. Honorable ministers, delegates, distinguished guests who are here today, each and every one of us here know the value that the TFCA have played in integrating our perspective and our real work in our respective efforts in the conservation field.
At a ministerial side event, the world witnessed a symbolic gesture by the SADC ministers responsible for environment and natural resources when they reaffirmed their commitment towards the TFCAs by revealing a SADC TFCA map and appending their signatories to it.
The presence at this side event of the political leaders also is a reflection of great commitment towards this work. It's also a reflection of their support, and we believe with them backing us, we will be able to overcome any challenges, and we should be able to move faster and beyond what we thought we would achieve.